All right, so this matchup between Alabama and LSU, Alabama comes in averaging 48.5 points per game and only giving up 18.5. Now, the box score says that the LSU offense comes in averaging 30.4 points per game, allowing 30.3. But let's take you deeper inside those numbers so you can get your sports advantage. Terrence Marshall has opted out for the rest of the season. Racy McMath is unlikely to play. This leads LSU with only tight end Eric Gilbert as their leading pass receiver with 30 receptions, 339 yards, and two touchdowns. The next two leading receivers are Jarcy Jenkins with 18 receptions and Keyshawn Butte with 18 receptions. So you don't have a proven pass catcher for LSU that can help these two young quarterbacks, whether it's TJ Finley or Max Johnson, who I expect to get the start in this ball game on Saturday night against Alabama. The running backs have not been fantastic for LSU either. Davis Price only has 367 yards on the season with two touchdowns. Emory Jr. only has 292 yards and two touchdowns. So you're going up against an Alabama defense who has really hit their stride here since the second half of the Georgia game. Mac Jones for the offense continues to be, for me, the best quarterback in the SEC, completing 76.2% of his passes, 12.0 yards per attempt. So that means he's not just dinking and dunking. He's taking a lot of big shots down the field. And he, along with Devontae Smith, have made a huge connection. Smith on the season, 72 receptions, already gone over the 1,000-yard mark, averaging about 15 yards per catch and 12 touchdowns. But if you think that Alabama is only going to be able to move the ball via the air, don't forget that Najee Harris come into this ball game averaging 111 yards per game and 17 rushing touchdowns. When they get down by the goal line, they look to run behind that dominant offensive line, and it's usually to the left behind what I expect to be future first-round pick in Alex Leatherwood. Let's take a look really quickly at the LSU offense over the last three games, and this is with both TJ and Max as the starting quarterbacks. 11 points against Auburn, 27 points against Arkansas, and 7 against Texas A&M. That's 15 points per game and only 45 points total. The reason for that is they're only able to convert in those three ball games, 34% on third down, 19 for 56. Alabama in its 8 games in the season on third down, 59%, 51 for 87. Alabama has scored an NCAA record 21 straight ball games, 35 points or more. Expect them to go over that number against this LSU defense led by Bo Pelini. Take a look at these numbers since the second half of the Georgia game for Alabama. They outscored Georgia in the second half 21-0, 48-17 in their next ball game, 40-0, 63-3, and in the Iron Bowl, 42-13. Alabama, since that second half against Georgia, 215 points, only allowing 33. This is not a game where I expect LSU to be in the ball game past halftime. Pay attention to the under in this ball game. Right now, it sits at about 68.5. Alabama is going to go on what I call a NyQuil drive in the fourth quarter, like they did Georgia, where they had 2 possessions, 20 plays, almost 11 and a half minutes off the clock. Georgia had 1 possession in the fourth quarter. Expect to see a similar game plan from Nick Saban in this ball game against LSU once he's up very comfortable in this ball game against LSU to take the air out the ball and give the LSU defense a shot of NyQuil and put them to sleep to end the game.